StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another edition of One Trick Wednesday. For those of you who are unfamiliar, this is my every other week feature where I issue a challenge to my subscribers to do a very, very weird strategy and send them to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com. In the bottom right side of the map, we have the red Terran player Kous. And in the top left side of the map, we have the blue Zerg player. It is Astro Sheep. So this week's challenge, in case you missed it, is burrowed banelings only. The only attacks that a Zerg player can use here is burrowed banelings. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I only got five submissions, period, for this challenge. And exactly 0 of them use only burrowed banelings in their match. So apparently that's on me. I mean, that's me issuing a far too difficult challenge. I believe to be a little bit easier than it was. It was not easy. So we're going to sit back. We're going to enjoy people attempting to use burrowed banelings to some extent here. Anyway, even if that's not the only thing that they do. So buckle in. We're going to see a lot of baneling landmines exploding a lot of Marines, I have to assume, in this compilation. I will go ahead and issue the next challenge for 2 weeks from now at the end of this video. So if you want to stick around until then, we'll get the next challenge out there. Again, your replay files can go to falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of One Trick Wednesday. I'll have my screeners take a look at them, and hopefully we'll get more submissions for the next one. Again, it should be a little bit easier to pull off. Astro Sheep is going extractor pool into a hatchery. Makes a lot of sense. You want that gas out early if you're going to go for banelings. And it just looks like a very standard 1 Rax expand out of Kous. Let's go ahead and toss down a Reaper name on this dude. We're going to call him Teddy. Oh, it's Teddy after Westworld. If you haven't seen Westworld, you don't get the joke, but just trust me on this one. This may be the most brilliant idea for a Reaper name I have ever had on my channel. So, like, kudos to the person who suggested that one. It is absolutely wonderful, and I love it with all of my heart. So this is Teddy. He's moving out. He is intending to murder some of the murderous and ravenous Zerg swarm. There are some slowlings coming. 6 slowlings coming. Oh, Kous, can you actually get a lot of kills here? Get him. Get him. KD8 charge those guys. One of the lings trying to, I guess, basically sacrificing his life so his friends may live. Getting a bit of a head start on this Reaper who is so much faster. So much faster. Astro Sheep should get speed down like now. He's not doing... Oh, that's upgrades. He is doing it. I was on the upgrades pane, and the Lings do manage to knock down an SCV who's building a bunker here, so that's a big deal. KD at charge blowing everybody away, including the Reaper himself, but Teddy is absolutely laying waste to these dudes. 2 SCVs have died, 1 building the command center, 1 building the bunker, but the Reaper ends up with 6 Ling kills. That is pretty good. That is pretty good, Teddy of Westworld fame. If you're not sure what Westworld is, you're very confused now. Westworld is an HBO show that premiered just earlier this year, I believe. No, was it late? It was late last year. That actually aired. I didn't watch it until this year because I was slow to the point there. Anyway, speedlings are now coming down. You can see those on the minimap. They are heading down very quickly. Teddy sees this and goes, "Oh shoot, how am I supposed to do this?" Speedling's gonna knock down that bunker. Gonna take no Teddy. Oh, Teddy gets surrounded by speedlings and dies. Speedling's absolutely locking down this expansion by Kous. Some Marines are here. They're at the Zelong Watchtower, but speedlings murder them as well as they're trying to shoot down an Overlord. Natural base is forced to be lifted off by Kous. He was not prepared for this much early Zergling attack. Those early slowlings did a lot of damage, actually, from Astro Sheep. So Astro Sheep, all right, you've got your Ling attacks in. It is now time for banelings. He does have a baneling nest coming up, so that's very nice. He burrows 1 baneling at the natural base of Kous, so he can't land a command center there without doing some work. At the very least here, there are Widow Mines and construction. Oh, Widow Mines. Widow Mines are the bane of banelings. Hey-oh. Hey-oh. And here we go. Banelings coming in from Astro Sheep. What's he going to do with these? What is he going to do with these banelings? I mean, obviously burrow them, but where? Is the question. Now, the trick here is that a straight-up baneling bust, I think, might just win the game for Astro Sheep, but I've given him the requirement, the artificial constraint, that it can only use burrowed banelings. So let's see if he does that or if he actually rolls them in. No, he burrows them all along. Oh, all along this mineral line and removes the Ling that was blocking it and says, all right, here you go. Here you go, Kous. Go ahead and land your Overlord command here at your natural base. Things will be fine. Things will be totally fine. There's no burrowed banelings here. Nope. Oh, man, this could be glorious for the swarm right now. So it is 18 to 24 harvesters. Astro Sheep is down. in worker count, but he does have a second base, whereas Kous does not. So Zerg player has the advantage. Marines moving out, saying, "Are there were like 40 Zerglings here just a minute ago. Where did they go? I have my Widow Mines. I can retreat to my Widow Mines if they do come storming in here trying to murder us." But you know what? There's nobody visible. Time for a bunker. Bunker before you land the command center. All right, that's fine. Again, Marines and Widow Mines protecting this, and it's time to land the orbital command. Again, these Lings could do some damage here, but they're holding back. They're holding back for the express purpose of giving Kous some hope and then crushing it in his hands as though it were made of paper mache. I always think of the Simpsons moment where Ralphie has a quote or a crush on Elisa, and basically she says something like, "We're friends" or whatever, and you can there's a slow motion replay of when his heart gets crushed and broken, and he's just like, "Ah!" That's always what I think of. All right, there are not enough SEVs here to explode these banelings. So Kous, these SEVs, they have a bit of a lease on life right now. We're going to wait for more SEVs to saturate this thing. He's going to wait for like 16 workers, the maximum available that Blizzard recommends when saturating a base. He's got 9. 9 is good. Is it time? Kous is probably watching. Oh, mules! This might be it. There it is! Oh, the banelings come out! 12 SCVs. And a bunch of mules die. It doesn't show the mules in units lost, which is always weird to me. But they're toast. Okay, so 10 SCVs because 2 died in the early Ling attack, but 10 SCVs died there. And I think at least 3 mules. There's still a burrowed, 2 burrowed banelings here right on top of each other. Yes, they are. Right on top of each other on the left side of this middle line. Kous is like, what was that? Where'd my stuff go? Marines come in. Is there enough energy for a scan? No, he just tossed down all those mules. He doesn't have enough energy for a scan. Oh, no. He's like, are there more? I don't know if there are more banelings. Oh, the banelings pop out and they explode themselves to kill 2 more SCVs. Now the banelings are gone. But Kous has the fear of God inside him now. Fear of Zerg, saying where burrowed banelings exist. They exist in this game. I don't know if there are still any in my natural base. I'm going to keep mining anyway because I can't not mine from a natural. There's the scan. And he breathes a huge sigh of relief. Oh, thank goodness there are no banelings in that mineral line. I don't know what I would do. All right, time to move out. We've got Marines. We've got Widow Mines. +1 attack on these Marines, so they also have Combat Shield and Stim. You bet your butt they do. And Widow Mines, again, very good against both Lings and Banelings. Baneling speed on the way from Astro Sheep. He's getting an Infestation Pit. He's getting a Sport Crawler in case there are drops or Banshees coming. It's 46 to 31 Harvesters. Astro Sheep doing very well on the macro side of things. He's got a 3rd base to the right of his natural. Had that one for a while. Marine group and Widow Mine group is here. Banelings are burrowing themselves in the middle of the map. But no, taking this left path instead is Kous. That's the trick with burrowed Banelings. You don't know exactly where the Terran player is going to attack. If they come over the particular place where you want them to go, it's bad news for them. But otherwise, your Banelings are kind of useless if no Marines ever wander over them. So here we go. Moving in. Marines. Very scary stuff. Big numbers. Burrowing Widow Mines on this ramp. Waiting for Banelings, waiting for Lings to come in here so they can pull back to it. Trying to kill that Overlord. They do get the Overlord, and the Widow Mines are firing. And whoop-ah! Big time hit there, but not enough to kill all of the Lings and all of the Banelings. Picking up and running with some of the medevacs here, or some of the units here, is this medevac Kous retreating back to the edge of the creep where he has 2 more Widow Mines. He's got some more Marines wandering on up here as well. And again, trying to push on up this ramp. Moving in, SCVs, Lings, right on top of these Marines. Another Widow Mine shot, getting some nice hits on that one. 16 kills on that Widow Mine, good gravy. And a Queen dies here as well, walking down this ramp. But, no, another big shot. 11 kills on that Widow Mine. Are there detection yet? Do you seriously? There's an Overseer. Overseer's coming down to take out all 4 of these Widow Mines. Kous struggling with the situation right now, and I can't necessarily blame him. Oh, there's still 1 Widow Mine. Widow Mine can redeem his brethren by getting a nice big shot here on this clump of Zerglings, and does! 23 kills! 23 kills on that Widow Mine. Holy shamoly, that's good stuff. Overseer comes in and says, what was that? Oh, I know what it was. Widow Mine. Good game. Kous taps out. Oh, Kous. Bit of an early leave there. I don't know that he necessarily had to go. It was 39 to 43 Harvesters. It was 2 bases to 3 bases. Kous was down in both of those counts, but I mean, he wasn't super duper out of it. I guess 13 Marines, 2 Marauders, 3 Medevacs, and 2 Widow Mines. And again, he had a front here that was pretty hard for Astro Sheep to break. Astro Sheep didn't really have anything but Lings and Banelings, and Marines and Widowmines are usually just fine in those situations, especially, again, if you can kind of pull back to a more central location with bunkers and things here at the natural base. So tapped out early, but Burrowed Banelings did figure into that win from Astro Sheep. So good job, Astro Sheep. First win in the compilation. We'll move on to game number 2 in just a second. Game number 2 of our Burrowed Banelings compilation is going to be between Bernie Sander and Monkillo on Newkirk Precinct. In the bottom right side of the map, we have the red Zerg player, our Baneling player. It is Monkillo. And in the bottom left side of the map, we have the pink Protoss player. It is Bernie Sander, not Bernie Sanders. Not Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sander, who says he is gay. Is that okay with you? Monkillo says, yeah, that's fine. That's great. Bernie Sanders says some people have a problem with that. Monkillo says, you be you, and Bernie Sanders says, that is cool. So this must be a custom game played because he could choose his color of pink here, which, again, we should be able to do in ladder games. Come on, Blizzard, get this thing going. Somebody start a petition. Somebody start a petition wherein you can choose your color. The way this would work is you choose the color you most want in ladder games, right? You can change it between games, whatever, whichever one you most want in this game upcoming. And then if your opponent, and a secondary color as well. And then if your opponent wants the same color, there's just a coin flip in the background. It's randomized. Whoever wins the coin flip gets that color, and the opponent gets their secondary color, and everyone's fine, right? Totally fine. Let's do this. Somebody make a petition. Hatch first out of Monkillo into an extractor into a pool. I have to assume, I mean, you're going Burrowed Banelings. You have to have a spawning pool. It turns out, actually, do anything, you need a spawning pool, including spine crawlers. There we go. There's the spawning pool. On the way from Monkillo, we've got double gateway opening here from Bernie Sander. Again, I'm gonna call him Bernie Sanders here, at least once or twice, just because that's what the man's name is. Bernie Sanders ran for president unsuccessfully, very famous. It's not like this is a weird name. The simulator up for Bernie Sander. It does get saturated within a total of yeah, about 3 seconds there. Not bad. Not a bad reaction time. And it's double zealot opening. Oh, this is bad. This is bad for a Burrowed Baneling player, Monkillo. What do you got for us, man? You got anything of interest? No? Alright. Alrighty then. Zealots coming in. Getting not chrono boosts, but they are on their way in. Another pylon coming up because Bernie Sander is supply blocked at 23 supply. Monkillo's got 19 out of 30 available supply here. Finally getting a queen at his main base and a queen at his natural. Falcon Paladin says encouragingly. There it is. There it is. Excellent. There's the queen at the natural base. Are these zealots going to move out is the question, because zealots that sit inside your base this early just really aren't doing any good. Put some pressure on that Zerg player, Bernie. Get in there. Take out some drones. Force some Lings out of your opponent. Force them to throw it on static defense. It is actually, at the lower levels, like a mass zealot attack early is actually hard to fend off. It requires a lot of good micro or a lot of Zerglings or some spine crawlers in order to hold that. I know the answer is roaches at the high levels, which is why you never see it at the pro level, is because like a handful of roaches can kite zealots into like oblivion. But that is difficult kiting for the lower levels at silver, gold, platinum. That's why you just don't see, again, mass zealot in the early game. These zealots take a couple swipes at a scouting drone and then just go back to where they were. So just hanging out. These zealots are here. Again, a lot of these games are low level, which I hear complaints about. But if you know somebody who's a grandmaster player or a master level player or a pro that you're friendly with on Twitter, maybe have them send in a replay for the One Trick Wednesday challenge. I'd love to see stuff from pros or from grandmaster level players. I just don't get them. I'll cast them if I get them. I mean, I'm casting what I get. 2 queens here from Monkillo inside the main base. And why did you bring both your queens into your main? You made one at your natural. I saw that happen. Spine crawlers coming up. Yeah, Monkillo's throwing down the static defense and the queens because we're rushing the banelings. By rushing, I mean getting a third base before baneling nests. So perhaps not rushing as much as I would have expected. Yeah, definitely not rushing as much as I expected here. So Zealots and Stalkers. Bernie Sander is playing this Wings of Liberty style, yo. Getting +1 attack on that forge, making additional gateway units. Photon cannons coming up here as well. No sign of adepts whatsoever. They are available. They are available. This is not a Wings of Liberty level game, which you can do. You can set the level of your StarCraft to Wings of Liberty or Heart of the Swarm or Legacy of the Void. Some players still like to hang out in Heart of the Swarm. I mean, they just do. They like it better than the one that we're seeing now, which is Legacy of the Void for whatever reason. Baneling Nest finally on the way from Monkillo. Is that, I don't know, it's like Monsanto? Is that like a scathing remark about Monsanto? Possibly. That is very possible what this is. 3 spawn crawlers at the front from Monkillo, but our pink player, Bernie Sander, has no intention of moving out. This is like the slowest 4-gate of all time. It's just a 2-gate. It is a 2-gate into a bunch of gateway units. No sentries, mind you, just stalkers and zealots. And a Nexus coming down at the natural base. Burrowed Zergling here at a potential third base. And, oh, both potential third bases have Burrowedlings in them. So the Burrow upgrade is done, which is wonderful. A Lair upgrade is coming in for Monkillo as well. And we're making some lings here. I mean, what do you have? You have exactly 2 Zerglings, 3 Queens, and 39 drones. Does Monkillo. 39 to 23 Harvesters. Out-macroing his opponent like a rock star. Like a rock star right about now. We've got +1 ground weapons on the way from Bernie Sander. I do want to say as well that not all of these are successful attempts at the challenge this time around. I do like to mix it up where we do have at least one where the Zerg player does not win the matchup using Burrowed Banelings. So it could be this one. You don't know. You don't know. Yeah, again, I haven't seen this Zealot Stalker heavy strategy with absolutely no Legacy of the Void units, period, in a long time. Bernie Sanders has some definite plans here. I just don't know exactly what they are. Okay, so Overlord speed on the way. Monkillo possibly going for Baneling drops based on the positioning of some of these Overlords. Did speed just finish? Did speed just finish? Yes, it did. Move speed 2.63. Those are fast Overlords now. I know 2.63 isn't like blazing fast compared to other things, but compared to what they normally are, that's really, really fast. Overlord in great placement here from Monkillo. Look at this. Our Protoss player can't see it, has no idea it's there. It looks like he kind of does know it's there because he's putting all the stalkers nearby, but they can't shoot it because they can't see it. Although you'd think it just kind of shoot up into the air, right? Pew, 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 and eventually you would hit it enough times to kill it if you knew it was there. Same thing with cloak units, right? Like you see your SCV dying to a dark, and you know it's a Dark Templar because you can hear the sound. Just shoot your gun in that general direction. You'll probably hit it. You'll probably hit it. I never understood why cloaked units are absolutely unhittable by the opposing units there. Bernie Sanders just kind of waltzing around with his gateway army, trying to see is there any Zerg hatcheries about, perhaps. No proxy hatcheries, just very standard play here from Monkillo, except for the fact that he is now morphing in 10 Banelings, which, again, not super weird in PvZ these days. It's something we see quite a bit, Banelings used against the Protoss enemy. But not so much just straight Banelings. So we'll see how Monkillo does with this one. Again, drop Banes are definitely an option here. Speed's on the way for Banelings. That is your upgrade. Some Burrowed Banelings on the ramp in case the Protoss shows up at the natural base. So maybe some more Burrowed Banelings on the ramp leading into the third base. Is that where you're going, Monkillo? Oh, burrowing them all on the ramp coming from the north into the third base. The southern ramp can fend for itself. We don't care. We don't care about the southern ramp here. It's going to be... There's a creep tumor here. There's a creep tumor here. That'll make sure everything is fine. Oh, Monkillo teching up all at once. Stargate and a robotics facility and a Twilight Council all at the exact same time here at 7 minutes and 45 seconds. Again, I don't know. These low-level games, man, you just can't understand what the players are doing most of the time. There's just nothing predictable about this whatsoever. +1 air on the way. Shield upgrade. Level 1 being researched by Bernie Sander as well. Okie doke. Again, shield upgrade is the only one that covers both air and ground units. So if you're getting a combination of both, it makes sense to get that upgrade. I'm not saying he shouldn't. But it's just something we don't see a whole lot. We don't see a whole lot of it. So now the question is, what does he do with the Twilight Council and the Stargate and the robotics facility? He's getting Blink from the Council. That's good. Stargate could do any number of things right now, but absolutely nothing is happening. Robotics facility too. An Observer would be life-saving for Bernie Sander right now. The ability to see Banelings before you waltz on top of them in the ground is wonderful. Holy crap, this is a lot of Banes. We got 40 Banelings on the field right now. We have 22 more coming in. Double expanding his Monkillo to the left of his natural and to the left of his third for his fourth and his fifth bases. 65 to 39 Harvesters. Bernie Sander hanging out, man. Just hanging out, waiting for the Zerg player to come kill him, which... There we go, more Burrowed Banelings along this path between the two bases. I mean, if you're teching to carrier... I mean, I guess you just kind of want to turtle up and get those carriers out and just max Sky Toss and go wreck Zerg face. At this level, that would be super effective, but that's not what Bernie Sander is doing. He's making a single Void Ray. He has an Observer. He has an Observer that hasn't left the friendly confines of the robotics facility, so that's fine. Cannon on the top of the ramp leading into this natural base. And we just have little spots of Burrowed Banelings scattered throughout the map here, which this is kind of what I intended. Is This kind of thing where no matter where you step on the creep, there is a chance you will get exploded with acid from the ground, which is wonderful. Storm on the way for Bernie Sander. He's kind of teching up. I mean, he doesn't actually have any High Templar, but he is researching Storm, so that's wonderful. +2 ground armor on the way as well. Is that shield upgrade done? It is. 111 is done for Bernie Sander. Those upgrades, you just don't see that a whole lot. I remember doing one Protoss cast maybe a month or two ago now, where somebody did do that, but it's like the one time I can remember in the last year of casting Protoss games. 26 more Banelings in production. We're going to bring that up to 100. To 100 Banelings from Monkillo. All right, here we go. The problem with this strategy, too, is it requires your opponent to move out, which is not generally a problem against Zerg. The strategy and, you know, the art of war entry about Zerg is that you need to attack them. Otherwise, they'll get a bunch of workers, which leads to a giant army in about 4 minutes, and you just don't want that to happen. Stalkers and Void Ray and Zealots knocking down the debris to the base to the right of the main base of Bernie Sander. That's where his third base is going to go. Kadoosh. There is a probe here, a pink probe here to throw down a Nexus. And there it is. There's our Nexus. Overlord group from Monkillo hanging out this game. We need some action. We're 10 minutes in, and I mean, the number of units lost here is an Overlord. Oh, 2 Overlords. That one that was hanging in that high sneaky spot got spotted by a Void Ray and an Observer, and a single Zergling have died so far. The resources lost tab is 100 to 225 at 11 minutes. Protoss player, we can do this thing, killing the Ling that was at the base north of the natural, because, I mean, Monkillo's running around looking for burrowed stuff. This is not looking good for our Zerg player. Just the fact that there are Stalkers and 2 Observers with this army means that burrowed Banelings are not going to be super effective unless they outrun the Observers, which they'll do. Stalkers are a lot faster than Observers, 4.13 move speed to 2.62. So if the Stalkers move out and leave the Observers in the dust, the Banelings could have a chance here, but if they let the Observers keep up with them, there could be problems for these burrowed Banelings. +2 armor on them, so I mean, they'll survive a couple hits from a Stalker. It's just they get outranged is most of the problem here. Do we have attack upgrades done? Yeah, +2 is done for these melee units. So these Banelings are going to hit for some extra damage. Where is it? No, don't burrow! Oh, whatever it is. Oh, there's some more Banelings. 43 damage versus light, 24 damage overall. And again, it is Splash. And actually making some High Templar is Bernie Sander. 170 Banelings, you guys. 170 Banelings on the ground. Yeah, pretty much any path you choose on this creep is going to, and actually off creep as well, it's going to result in some Baneling explosions of some kind, whether they are from the Protoss player hitting them from a distance or having them explode under their feet is another question. Base to the top here from Monkillo, that is going to be his 6th base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6th base just in the north, and just so many Banelings. 232 Banelings now. 232 Banelings, 73 drones, and Monkillo is officially maxed out. So, again, he really needs the Protoss player to come attack him on some level. Banelings taking the initiative, rolling into this potential third base, rolling out, and they're okay, so they baited 2 Stalkers to follow them, and they get exploded. Doesn't kill the Stalkers, though. Man alive, that's very discouraging for our Baneling player. That was like, it doesn't show, but that was like 8 Banelings that exploded on 2 Stalkers and didn't kill either of them. Again, not wonderful against Stalkers. So now here's the thing. Does Bernie Sander recognize, okay, there are burrowed Banelings. I don't move out without my Observers. I use my Stalkers to lead. Where are his... Yes, he's waiting for the Observers here. Here we go. Come on, Bernie Sander. Come on, Bernie Sander. You could do it. I believe in you. Get out there. You have Observers. What are you so afraid of? +3/+3 on the way from Monkillo for these Banelings, which, again, he is in the spirit of this. He is in the spirit of the burrowed Baneling challenge, morphing in 8 more to replace the ones that have died so far, I suppose, to bring him to 233 Banelings, which may be the most Banelings I've ever seen in a StarCraft 2 game that I've ever cast. So that's very exciting stuff. More High Templar, Immortals, Fleet Beacon coming in for Bernie Sander. Do I need to put you on ×2 speed? This is the most hesitant Protoss player I've ever seen in my entire life. Banelings again trying to bait these Stalkers into coming down here. They do come down without any support whatsoever. Woo! That was a big one. That was a big Baneling hit. All right, so Bernie Sander coming out, bringing his observers, killing creep tumors. And there we go. Baneling's going to pick off from Medicine's Void Ray is doing very well as well. It is the Baneling Apocalypse. Oh, they unburrow and run for their lives. They run for their lives. This is not going well for the Banelings. Going to reburrow somewhere else, reposition themselves somewhere else, or is he just going for it? Monkilla looks like he's just going for it, man. He's moving these Banelings. Again, soon to be +3 Banelings. A lot of Spore Crawlers coming up as well. He saw those Void Rays and got very frightened. Where are these Spore Crawlers coming in? Oh, I hate it when it doesn't show me. Banelings waltzing into the natural base of Bernie Sander, obliterating, burrowing themselves and exploding. Yes. Yes. That's what I wanted to see. Burrow themselves in a circle around that natural base and explode, killing almost all of the probes. One did survive, and the Nexus in one nice giant green. Nice giant green explosion. All right, Monkillo. I appreciate the efforts you have made. You have made in this match to make the burrowed Baneling thing work. And you know what? You do that again on the third, and you might just straight up win this game. I mean, as the natural base is completely mined out for Bernie Sander, you have 6 bases compared to the 2. And the really 1 mining base that Bernie Sander has. +3, just about done. So dang close to being done. And there it is. 47 damage versus light. Zealots have a lot of health, but not enough health where they can absorb those hits forever and continue to live. Creep spread looking great out of Monkillo, continuing to push this almost to the natural base ramp of Bernie Sanders so far. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Creep spread. And again, there's so many burrowed Banelings just everywhere across the map that have gotten zero action thus far. It's very sad. 235 Banelings on the ground, 5 more in production for Monkillo. So many Void Rays. 8 Void Rays in the sky for Bernie Sander. And I mean, I did say you could make static defense, so Spore Crawlers are okay. They're okay in this challenge. And here we go. Again, Zealots do not get in the front. Zealots, you're worthless in this situation. Don't get out there. Some Templar were leading that charge as well. I just don't understand. Bernie Sander is content at killing a couple of Banelings and some creep tumors and pulling back to his now defunct natural base. Although kind of a third base. Banelings rolling into the natural, trying to kill some probes as well. Trying to burrow themselves, not really working out. Cannons hitting them as they try to roll in. And a couple probes do end up getting killed. 21 probes have been killed thus far. Baneling, that is such a hypnotic sight. Seeing like 50 Banelings rolling across the creep. And then just pulsating. Boom, boom. Wum, 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 wum. And there they go. There they go. Is it time to move out? Is it time to move out, Monkillo? Again, I appreciate you trying to make this thing work. I didn't realize exactly how hard it would be. I knew it would be hard, but I really didn't see this coming. So here we go. Void Rays found the Banelings. Oh, all right. Gonna try to burn them down. Banelings run. You can't burrow because there's an observer here. You're all just gonna die. So keep moving. Checking for a third base up north. There's not one. Thank goodness. Says Monkillo, rolling down into this natural base. He's gonna try to take out the main with burrowed Banes. And again, exploded Banelings. These cannons are having a field day with it. Trying to roll. This is such a scary thing for Protoss to see. All of these Banelings waltzing on in and burrowing and exploding. Taken out. The Cybernetics Core taking out a couple gateways, a pylon, depowering both of the Stargates that Bernie Sander had. Again, not really cost efficient, but doing some serious damage to Bernie Sanders' infrastructure right now. Some serious damage. He's going in with another bunch of burrowed Banelings. He's trying. He's thinking about it. He's making 70 more Zerglings. They all just popped out. They're all now running across the creep as fast as their little tiny legs can take them. 12 more Banelings in production. Monkillo has 5,000, 4,000 resources in the bank. And he's at 192 out of 200 total supply. So it's just, he's maxed out. He has a lot in the bank. He's trying to do this thing in accordance with the challenge that was issued. It's just with the Void Rays, things get a little bit difficult. Although, you know what? You can do this. You can do this, Monkillo. Get in there, kill this third base, kill a bunch of stuff in the main, and then at that point, Bernie Sander is crippled. He's going to have to attack you into Spore Crawlers, get a lot of Spore Crawlers, get a lot of Queens, and deal with the anti-air, and you might be okay. Oh no, Banelings again getting spotted by the Void Rays, but they go the opposite direction. Void Rays, not interested in that giant group of banelings. Perhaps they did not see them. Void Rays coming in to this base of Monkillos, this 5th base. Full evacuation of drones. Good reaction time there out of Monsanto. Banelings just rolling in everywhere, trying to kill this army, trying to roll up this natural base, actually. And burrowing on this ramp. Leaving that Templar to go. Oh, here comes the army. No! Big Baneling hit. Here we go again. Banelings burrowing themselves in the most optimal position. Oh, the storm is killing the Banelings, but they're so close to Protoss buildings, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Goodbye, Fleet Beacon. And that's it. Bernie Sander is defeated, and Monkillo was victorious. Yes, Monkillo, I applaud your dedication to this idea. Burrowed Baneling attacks. That's it. Some Banelings exploded above ground. That was not his fault. It was not his fault. Now, the thing is, these Void Rays for Bernie Sander are essentially unopposed. There are 5 Spore Crawlers on the field, and 5 Queens. It's just not enough to deal with 10 Void Rays with +1, +2, +1. Not going to happen. So Bernie Sander could have just straight up won this game, but it is very morale decreasing in order losing a bunch of your stuff to Banelings like that. I mean, that was nuts. Look at that. All these buildings died thanks to Banelings. A Nexus, 9 pylons, 4 gateways, 1 robotics facility, a forge, a fleet beacon, a Twilight Council, a Templar Archives, 2 cannons, and an assimilator, all to burrowed Banelings. Monkillo, you're my favorite player so far. All right, so game number 3 coming up in just a second. Welcome back to game 3 of the One Trick Wednesday compilation number 2. And this is going to be a game between Darath and Iron Beetle on Cactus Valley, the latter edition. In the bottom right side of the map, we have the red Zerg player. It is Darath with a Worgen Marine spinning icon. Very cool. And in the top right side of the map, we have the blue Terran player who has no idea what is in store for him today. It is Iron Beetle, represented by Ugg, and appropriately enough, featuring a spinning beetle as his spinning icon. All right, so this one is diamond level. It's a little bit higher than the first 2. We should see perhaps a little bit more intelligent strategy from both ends of the game here. And we will see exactly how this burrowed Baneling strategy is played out by Mr. Darath. Is he going hatch first? He's going hatch first. Against this Terran player, he does not fear. He does not fear the 3-Rack Reaper. He does not fear losing to Marines, even though all he can make are burrowed Banelings. Although, you know what? Again, people struggled with keeping that going. So far, again, Monkillo was great at really trying to only attack with burrowed Banelings. The first game was not a good example of that, but nevertheless did include some nice burrowed Baneling hit action, for which I am appreciative. Again, the only reason I'm casting some of these is because I only got 5 total submissions to this One Trick Wednesdays, so the next one again should be a little bit easier. I'm going to get a lot more submissions, so I need you to follow the rules on this mystery One Trick Wednesday to a T, or my screener will be instructed to disregard your replays entirely. Spawning pool on the way from Darath. Had 4 workers on gas somehow just a second ago, but put 3 on there, evening it out to where it needs to be. We do have Marines coming out for Iron Beetle, so not early Reaper, which is a mercy for Darath. Again, if he's trying to go straight Banelings, it's very difficult to hold off a Reaper. Queens are good, right? Queens are great against holding Reapers, but you really want a couple Lings, especially with speed, just to make sure the Reapers never come back. You want to catch them out in the middle of nowhere, murder them, and to bury their corpses in the ground. Factory on the way for Iron Beetle. This SCV is scouting exactly incorrectly. He went cross spawns first to the bottom left. Did not see the Zerg player. Going top left now when the Zerg player is in the bottom right. Just, again, rolled a 1 when he needed a 6 on those dice. Just chose incorrectly. There's our immediate Baneling nest from Darath at 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Very good. Very good for Darath thus far. I like this very much. Queen at the main base, Queen at the natural base. Again, that Worgen is just awesome. He just looks great in that Marine suit. I kind of want to see... Kind of want to see an animation that Blizzard does where Worgens are Marines. Can't lie. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Drone attempting to scout in the top right. There's a wall off there, though, so can't get inside. So that alone should tell Darath where the Terran player is. Also, his Sloverlord just got there, so he sees exactly what is going on with the red Terran up in the top. Actually, are these colors...
You have a new queen. Those hatcheries look like...
Ah, it's the Total Biscuit voice pack. Yay! Man, Total Biscuit has the greatest announcer voice. I love that guy so much. Does the British accent give him more credit than he deserves? I don't know. And I don't care. I love listening to him so very, very much. Even what somebody linked on Reddit about 6 months ago an experience that Total Biscuit had going to a worldwide WWE wrestling event, and I do not care about wrestling, but I listened to Total Biscuit talk about this for about an hour and just was not bored. He is so good. Love that guy, and his commitment to StarCraft is excellent as well. I mean, he doesn't do only StarCraft, which I can respect. There's a lot of stuff out there that could use some good commentating from Total Biscuit, but he hasn't given up. Like, he hasn't abandoned StarCraft like some other of the more famous commentators have done. Anyway, banelings are up for Darath. He's making a lair baneling speed very useful in this challenge. Faux show. What up, banelings? How you doing? You got your burrow yet? Not researched. Not researched because he hasn't done it yet. Where? I mean, all right, fair enough. Not there's. Wait, it's on the way. It's on the way. I didn't see that at this hatchery. So burrow's on the way. Got some banelings moving up. 2 banelings possibly gonna. Oh, the drone checking to see if there's anything in this natural base. Overlord on this high ground too, making sure of that. So these banelings should be able to sneak in here and burrow in this mineral line before Iron Beetle has any idea this is even happening. It is actually a 1 base. Oh crap! A 2-port Banshee play with Cloak out of Iron Beetle. These banelings are not going to do very well against Banshee. You need Spore Crawlers. You need Queen's Darath. You need to hold this so bad right now. Widow Mines in construction as well, trying to hold his front with Marines and Widow Mines while these Banshees come out. Banshees are now here, so really any attack that shows up for the Zerg is just pretty much doomed, as Banshees are wonderful against everything that the Zerg player can do until Hiders are out, unless they brought some Queens along. Cloak is 55 out of 79 seconds complete. Again, that's Blizzard seconds, which is pretty close to in-game real-time seconds. I don't know. Somebody tried to explain this to me a while ago, and just I didn't quite understand how that worked. So if you have a better explanation as to how the time works in StarCraft 2, is it just real time, right? Like 5 minutes in Blizzard time has been changed where what used to be faster, right? 5 minutes in game time was actually like 3.5 minutes of real time, and now it's closer to a 1-to-1 ratio. I don't know. I don't know. Banshees flying out. These poor banelings are like, what? They're watching these Banshees pass overhead. What is... I don't understand what's happening here. Are there spores? There's a spore, and there are 2 queens. I don't even know if 2 queens and a spore is enough to handle 3 Banshees, especially if they burn down that Spore Crawler quick. Okay, there's an Overseer here and another Spore Crawler coming up. All right, so Darath is fine. Darath is defending as he was allowed to do with queens and static defense. He's getting +1 missile attack for that defense as well. And again, banelings are just feeling rather silly, so they move. They get out of there. Oh, they hop inside a Drop Lord. All right. Here we go. Darath with a slow Overlord is going to try to drop inside Iron Beetle's base. He might be able to sneak in there with the banelings and get inside that mineral line before Iron Beetle sees what's going on. And that tank is not close enough to protect that entire mineral line. He's close enough to hit, I think, this very outer edge of it. But if he burrows the banelings, if Darath burrows them along the top side here, I think he might just pull it off. Now the problem is that Iron Beetle is going mass Banshee, but he's waiting too long, right? He's just waiting too long with this. The Marines come down, kill the drone that was scouting the natural base, murder it. I don't see any sign of an expansion out of Iron Beetle here. Liberator in production for Iron Beetle. I like that. Liberator Banshee combination sounds pretty enticing. It really does. Third base coming up for Darath along the left side. The problem for our Terran player... Oh, Overlord tries to drop in. The banelings, did they... Oh, there they are. The banelings are trying to get in here and burrow. There we go. One manages to burrow, and he explodes, weakening the SCVs, but not killing them because a single baneling does not kill an SCV unless they have +2 attack upgrades, which they don't have because we're using the evolution chamber on a missile attacks. This is the slowest, most, like, plodding and methodical Banshee 1-base attack I've ever seen in my entire life. Come on, Iron Beetle. You can do this thing. Nice, says Iron Beetle. Not really. I mean, he didn't kill anything of yours. Medevac's healing up all the injured SCVs anyway. It's like the baneling wasn't even there. Like it weren't even there. All right, so Banshee's sneaking on down this right side. Gonna try to get in here and murder some things. Spore Crawler, I was worried about this. Get in there, Queens. Transfuse the Spore Crawler. No, don't transfuse the Spore Crawler, but there are 5 Queens. Look at this anti-air damage. Transfuses on the Queens, picking off 2 of the Banshees before they can kill really anything but that Spore. And 2 Banshees died in the process. That is just not cost-efficient. Banshee pilots trying to move in possibly to the natural base. Again, there are 2 spores here as well and a couple queens. And there we go. Queen. Oh, Banshee dead. Other queen. Can you? Yes, she can live. Yes, she can live. Oh, Matt actually gets some kills as well. Killed a single drone. Excellent job there. Where's your Overseer, Zerg player? There it is. He's coming. He's moving as fast as he can. Banshee's getting way too many kills. trying to pick off these drones that are coming over to this third base. There's no Spore Crawler here. Oh, the queens have to waddle so slowly. Banshee going to have a great time in this mineral line. Spore Crawler attempting to be built. 2 Spore Crawlers, actually, but Banshee does end up with a bunch of kills. 6 kills, and then the queen murders her in revenge. See, it's just a circle of death, you guys. Revenge just turns into more and more deaths until everybody is dead. That's what I learned from Romeo and Juliet when I did it in 6th grade. All right, so a bunch of queens here for Darath. How's our Baneling count looking, Darath? 6? Not wonderful. Not wonderful, but again, when your opponent goes 2-port Banshee, you feel like perhaps these Banelings are not as important as they once were. The good news is that Iron Beetle is still on 1 base. Iron Beetle, man, you have to get out here and expand at some point. I mean, another thing about the latest patch of Legacy of the Void is that your mineral patches run out much more quickly than they used to. There are 4 patches remaining with, like, the scattered, okay, maybe like 3,000 minerals remaining on these things. It's not lasting forever. Command Center on the way for Iron Beetle. Hooray! Finally make an expansion at 9 minutes. Perhaps he was planning on winning with those Banshees. It's just Queens and Spore Crawlers and Overseers. Pretty good combination. As it turns out, 8 Banelings in production for Darath. He's not maxing on Banelings, but again, his opponent is a little bit more aggressive than Mr. Bernie Sander was in the previous game. Vikings under construction for Iron Beetle. Liberator's moved. So this mineral line is a little bit open here again. Where's the Liberator going? Ah, moving out. Moving out on a mission, she is. To try to see what damage she can do to the Zerg swarm. I mean, she's being ordered out there. It's not like she's just going out on her own as some kind of rebel. Dun. And the music ends. 4th base on the way for Darath here, just north of his natural. It's very nice and easily connected from the bases. Creep Spread is attempting to do this. A lot of defensive queens from Darath. That's what you got to do. See, this, I don't know how well this strategy would have worked with a traditional Marine Marauder medevac type strategy, but haven't seen those against Terran yet, but are only, 2 games in of that particular matchup. 30 Lings in production for Iron Beetle. He's got 3,800 resources in the bank. Darath has 2,700, and Iron Beetle has 2,600 and 900 there. So his command center is finished. He's checking to see if he can expand to the left here without any negative consequences. The Vikings don't see anything, but they can't detect, so there could be burrowed Banelings there. You don't know. Liberator, I'm very surprised at this Liberator attack, but I just realized the Spore Crawlers were repositioned to the front of the base where they were in behind at first. So Liberator gets some free shots. Goodbye, drones. It was nice knowing you. But not really, says the Liberator pilot. I hate Zergs so much. I have no problem murdering helpless, defenseless drones as they are doing the only thing they know how to do, really, which is gather resources. 12 kills on that Liberator, including some larva, which does slow down the macro ability of the Zerg player. Spore Crawler knocking at the Liberator while she's attempting to come into the main base, and she toast. I mean, if she moves from the spot, she's dead. Queens, yeah, she thought about it. Didn't really work out. Didn't even get a shot off there before she was murdered by them, their queens. Again, the range on these dudes is amazing. Range of 8 for anti-air is just, it is impeccable. All right, Darath, I like this Baneling count that you have. I really do. 64 Banelings, 64 of them. With any more in production, not really, just spreading that creep, which I'm a fan of. I like the creep spread here. It's a little bit lagging, but again, 2-port Banshee is a very distracting thing. It's hard to get your creep spread out when you're being attacked by Banshees. By that many Banshees. Anyway, so Marine Tank, Widowmine, Medevac for Iron Beetle, much more traditional play here. Is he bringing a Raven or anything? Does he have enough? He has enough energy for a scan. Almost enough for 2. Right now, as he is attempting to land his natural base. Again, these players are just so tentative. Alright, so Baneling's trying to roll on into the natural base, trying to sneak around this backside, but no, just getting right on top of these Marines and burrowing. Okay, so no Marines, don't come over here. What are you doing? Did you see that? No, I don't know if he saw that burrow. I don't know if he saw the burrow. He would have scanned and burned these alive if he knew. Alright, Marines, if you come to the south like 10 steps, you are all dead. Is he going to do it is the question of the day. These Banelings are very patient. They're very patient. Widowmine's wandering by, kind of pushing the Marines closer to the Banelings. Banelings at this point would get maybe like 5 or 6 Marine kills, just not worth it. Not worth it to explode right here. Widowmine's at the front as well. Going to make additional Baneling entry very difficult. 50 Banelings in production for Darath. And Marines moving out to see what's going on in the land of the Zerg. And the answer is a lot of creep spread and a total of 56 banelings. So the Marines, I mean, they're going to have to go in this general direction eventually. Here we go. Oh, crap. There it is. 43 dead Marines. Oh, they didn't know. They didn't know. Look, after your second burrowed baneling hit, you gotta get a Raven, man. You just have to make a Raven. That's all I want from you. You have starports capable of doing this. One of them isn't even making anything right now. So it's an awfully good strategy. A lot of lings on the ground here. There are 78 Zerglings on the ground and 51 banelings. So perhaps, I mean, there are some banelings that were burrowed here. They're just not quite sure what to do with themselves. Widowmine's ready to go, and Boosh, killing a Marine, throwing his body up and over those rocks. Another baneling explodes on top of a Widowmine, doing some damage to it, but not enough to kill it straight up. Baneling's now going, recognizing that the Widowmines are now on cooldown and walking right on in here, and they are not necessarily trying to explode. They're just getting attacked. A lot of SCVs getting right next to the banelings, getting exploded by tanks, trying to walk in here with banelings again and burrow them in advantageous positions. And there we go. Command center, orbital command exploded with the power of the burrowed baneling. It's 80 to 10 harvesters. 11. Okay, only 11 SCVs have died. How did you only make 21 SCVs in this game, Iron Beetle? This might be the worst macroing Terran player I've ever seen in my entire life, and that includes Into the Void games. Like, dude, 15 minutes into the game, you made 20 SCVs, and you're not making any more to replace the ones that just died. Yeah. Again, I just want to say I wish this was higher level stuff, but this is what I got. This is what I have to work with, and we're going to roll with it. Triple expanding now is Darath, feeling very good about that baneling hit. Very confident indeed, going after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5th, 6th, and 7th bases along this left side in the bottom corner. Very hard for the Terran player to do anything about this, as he currently has an army of 14 Marines and a tank and 2 Vikings with 2 Widowmines. It's just not wonderful. A lot of banelings just came in. 100 banelings on the ground for Darath. Is it time to go? Is it time to go? The answer is no. The answer is no. Not actually going anywhere. All right. We've got a landed Viking here for Iron Beetle, holding the main Zelnaga watchtower. I mean, for scouting purposes, that's great. If you're actually trying to defend it in any way, it's not going to work very well against 100 banelings. Banelings sneaking up along this right side. Where are they going? Where are they going? Thor's in production for Iron Beetle as well. We got concussive shells. We got infantry armor. Level 2 here at the same time. And banelings again, trying to see if there are any Widowmines here. And there are tanks. So getting in that natural base. And by tanks, I mean a tank. A tank. Vikings do take down a queen. That was trying to spread creep up by the Zelnaga watchtower. So good job there, Vikings. Well done. With no upgrades whatsoever, my friends. Check in possibly for bases along this bottom left side. They will be unpleasantly surprised, or perhaps have their suspicions confirmed, when they see these three hatcheries over here. Nothing is here, right? There are no queens, there are no drones whatsoever, but hey, might as well try to murder it anyway, say these Vikings. And the problem is you have to burrow baneling, kill them. So burrowing banelings here at a potential third base location for Iron Beetle. I think the Vikings are just going to be given this base. I really do, unless the queens... Okay, so 4 queens are showing up. That's better. That's better. Basically connecting this 5th base. And Viking does end up getting killed there. Excellent job. Excellent job there. Queens all injecting on this hatchery. Just blah. Blah. I accidentally kind of licked my pop filter there when I did that. Disgusting. This pop filter has been around for almost 2 years now. It's a lot. It's a long time. Can you wash these? I just realized I don't know if you can wash these, but it's got to have a lot of gross, like, spit on it from me casting into it so much over the last little while here. Creep spread, ginormous here for Darath. We're gonna have to hit the +1 here. +1 speed time. Baneling. Medevac. Just so many banelings in this game. Medevac hanging out, heading on out to try to kill these bases. Banelings wandering in as well, and explosions. There we go. All the banelings wandering on in here. Marines dying. Thor And again, burrowed banelings. There's the scan. Oh, they all detonate, getting nothing. You will get nothing, and you will like it. 87 lost banelings. Does that count as lost? They don't kill anything? How does this work? How does the lost baneling number come about? I don't understand it. Iron Beetle dropping on the 6th base of Darath along this left bottom corner. Absolutely no queens and no drones here whatsoever. I feel like Darath is okay with losing this, although queens are coming to defend it. I don't know if 3 queens is enough against this many marines, although they are injured. And the queens do have +1/+1. Transfuse is keeping the queens alive, trying to pick off individual units and hitting the medevac. That's what you got to do. Target that medevac first, queens. That is a pro tip from Falcon Paladin. All right, Iron Beetle is still down to 9 SCVs. Come on, man. You got this thing. Make more SCVs. How? Again, he's only lost 12. He hasn't made any since that previous. This is nuts. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen here. All right, so banelings rolling up. Are they going for it again? They're staging. They're on the staging ground at the edge of their creep. Now they're moving in. Now they're moving in. This tank has 40 kills. That's a lot of kills. That is a lot of kills. No Widowmines, just tanks, dude. It's time to go. Time to go. And here they come rolling on in. More Marines are going to die. Make sure to try to take out that tank as well. Burrowing inside this mineral line. And exploding orbital command dies. All the Marines are dead. Thor is gone. Siege tank has 51 kills. But only 4 SCVs remaining for Iron Beetle. He has 0 orbital commands. He's going to be revealed here in just a second. And what's he doing? Where are you? What is your vision? It's being revealed. He is looking at his tank that he's repairing. That's fine. He knows about all the bases the Zerg player has. I mean, he's down 78 to 4 SCVs, which is just not a good place. He's repairing this supply depot at the front door of his natural. A lot more banelings coming in for Darath. He's Does Iron Beetle have? Iron Beetle doesn't have enough to make a new orbital command. He's toast. He's toast. He can't come back from this. It's impossible to come back from this with a tank and a Hellion with 3 medevacs. He's sending the Hellion around to see if he can murder anything. Tries to get a creep tumor. No. Like 5 queens chase him away. Comes down to the 5th base. A bunch of queens chase him away from there as well. Possibly going to try to knock down to the 3rd. I don't know. Banelings again coming in. This tank finally going to die. Nope. 60 kills. Still alive. Banelings waltzing in, burrowing next to a supply depot, killing that one. Not that it supply blocks Iron Beetle by any stretch of the imagination. Like, not even the tiniest bits of stretch of the imagination. Banelings rolling into the main base for the 3rd time in this game. And is it enough to kill the tank? The tank finally falls, taking some barracks with it. Iron Beetle, just go. Just get out. There it is. There is the good game and the tap out from Iron Beetle, and Darath is victorious. Yes. Oh, Iron Beetle. I don't know. Why did it say diamond? Maybe only the Zerg player was diamond. I don't know. Anyway, we got some good baneling explosions, and that's what this compilation is all about. All right, moving into game number 4. Coming up on the second to the last of these casts, and we'll be back in just a second. Welcome back to One Trick Wednesday, everybody. This is our Burrowed Baneling special. And this is going to be a game between, Jamoisal and Megatron on Honor Grounds, the latter edition. Megatron asking if his opponent is silver or platinum, and it's silver out of Jamoisal. Jamoisal? Let's go Jamoisal. In the bottom left side of the map, we have the red Terran player, Jamoisal. And in the bottom right side of the map, we have the blue Zerg player. It is Megatron from That's who he represents. That's okay, says Megatron. If you're new to the game, that's just fine. He's silver and new to the game. We gotta get him on Into the Void. There are just so few new players, it seems like. I gotta find some actual new players here. Oh, some nice advice from Megatron. If you want to improve, watch the pros play. See what they do. Mimic their builds, mimic their strategies, see what they use to react to what the other player is doing. You can learn a lot from watching the pros play, absolutely. 100%. For sure. Double refinery opening from Jamoisal with his barracks. Okay. Which is fine. Again, Banshee opening or Mech opening would make a lot of sense for this. And he is fully saturating one of his refineries very early. Hatch first out of Megatron. Into an extractor, into a pool. Again, not really worried about early 3 Reaper rushes from silver players who are Terran. That's for absolute certain. Is Jamoisal going to go ahead and saturate his 3rd Or his second refinery here. No, he is not. He had good intentions. He has one SCV on it, but not the required 3 to make it fully useful. We do have a barracks on the way from Jamoisal. Got supply depots on the way at the same time, trying to wall off with additional supply depots. And again, it is a pretty wide ramp to come in here, so I like that Jamoisal does want to wall off. That's great. Oh, and he's making a Reaper. Holy smokes. All right, Reaper name list. Let's go. I did not expect one from this dude. He apparently knows a little bit more than he is possibly letting on. Dun, 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 dun. Reaper name is going to be Asaron, the King of Queens. Drone Bane was once Asaron's apprentice, till one day he caught Drone Bane trying to poison his food, but instead of killing his apprentice, as was tradition, he faked his death and went into hiding. But now he can no longer contain his lust for blood, so he has donned his jetpack and dual pistols and is on the hunt once again. So it's Asaron. He's basically a dark, like a Sith Lord of some kind. So he's going to try to kill some Zerg in the name of the Sith, which, I mean, it makes sense. You're not necessarily killing, like, Jedi or people of light necessarily, but killing Zerg does satisfy the bloodlust of Sith, I suppose. Coming right into this mineral line and just kind of checking things out, getting stabbed by a queen a whole bunch, which isn't great. And, yeah, that's the Reapers, man. They are really tricky to control well, but if they're controlled well, they are beautiful. Try to kill a drone and chase it down. Queen gets him. Queen gets Asaron. He's toast. He is toast, ladies and gentlemen. So, I don't know, good attempt. Good attempt there. Factory on the way. You have an idle SCV, says Megatron. How do you know that? Where? I don't see any SCVs. I usually do, says Jamoisal. That's funny. That's funny. Has he scouted? Did Megatron scout this? Kind of. He did a little bit. He did a little bit there. Perhaps the SCV that was building the factory was idle for a second there, but Jamoisal was on top of it. All right, so now 3 bases are up for Megatron. He has his Baneling Nest. He's getting speed. He can get his burrow upgrade. There it is. Burrow upgrade now on the way from the main base. I was going to say it's a little bit late, but speed and the burrow are coming up. 35 to 22. Total Harvesters is our friend Megatron right now. Expansion on the way from Jamoisal. A little bit late, but not terribly so. It's basically a 1-1-1 build out of Jamoisal, making it the Destiny Cloudfist build, as Husky used to call it back in the day. Man, Husky, he still has a lot of fans. Somebody, what was it? Somebody actually tagged me in a tweet of a response to Husky's tweet. Apparently, Husky just tweeted out a thumbs up. And everyone's like, he's alive! When are you coming back, Husky? And someone was nice enough to recommend Falcon Paladin as a replacement for Husky. So that was very, very nice. I don't know, maybe some Husky fans who don't know about me saw that tweet and headed over today. That would be very, very nice indeed. Another extractor on the way. Need a lot of gas if you're going for mass baneling, as we have learned thus far. So many assimilators. That's a 5th one on the way, and possibly going to go for a 6th as well. Here is Megatron. Don't really see any reason not to. There it is. The 6th is on the way as well. So, gee willikers. A lot of gas, a lair coming up at the same time. Not really worried about early attacks. Right, Jamoisal somehow patrolling the right side of his natural with Marines. Perhaps he's been killed by Overlord drops, by Drop Lord action in the past, and doesn't want to see that again. Which, hey, you know what? If it makes you feel safe at this level, go ahead and do it. Marines on the way from Jamoisal. Got a tech lab coming up at the same time. So many barracks on the ground. By that I mean 3. Slow banelings waddling on in from Megatron. See what damage they can do to this Terran player. Possibly just try to break down the front wall. Like burrow themselves at the front. And then explode right on these supply depots. Although there's a tank, that's a problem. Jamoisal recognizing the power of tanks in the early game against Zerg Harass. Remember that time Life did like a 3-base baneling bust? Yikes, banelings getting murdered. They get too close. So burrowing themselves out of the range of the tank, but still in this 3rd base location for Jamoisal. But remember when Life was doing 3-base baneling busts in, like, I think it was BlizzCon, or like the first Legacy of the Void tournament, or maybe it was, man, was that HOTS? That might have been early HOTS. But anyway, for some reason, Terran players were refusing to make tanks, like in the first 5 minutes of the game. So Life got up to 3 bases, repelled any early attacks, made a whole bunch of banelings and lings, and just wrecked Terrans for like a week straight. And then finally Terrans were like, maybe we'll just make an early tank or 2, and that shut it down pretty easy. So It just kind of goes to show the importance of adapting. Nidus Worm on the way from Megatron, and a lot of Drop Lords, 4 Drop Lords just now popping in for Megatron as well. So he is planning on getting his Banelings in there somehow, some way. The front door is not going to work. Tanks really shut that down pretty quickly. But Overlords cannot be hit by tanks, and neither can Nidus Worms. Well, they can, but not until after they pop. So these Marines are still patrolling. They are dedicated. They are dedicated Marines. I could never join the military just because you get assignments like this, right? Stand at attention for 14 hours. Patrol back and forth along this way for 6 hours. My brain would explode out of boredom. There's just no way around it. You can't listen to music. You can't really talk to people. It's mindless sentry work, which is another thing robots are going to be really good for one day. I mean, robots are going to take all of our jobs. You're aware of that, right? You're aware of the fact that robots are going to take all of our jobs. I mean, the ones I can think of that won't be taken by robots at some point is going to be like super high level coding. But even then, like, that's eventually going to be taken over. So there are some options to what society will do about that when all is said and done. So here we go. Baneling unload into this natural mineral line and exploding, burrowing, and... oh, there go your SCVs. Thank you for playing. That is 14 dead SCVs to these Banelings. Burrowing one right in the middle of the mineral line. Marines responding. Hey, what was that? Nope, you're too late. Burrowed Banelings murdered all of your things. It is 23 to 56. Total Harvesters. It's a time for a Nidus Worm. I'd love to see some Nidus Worm action here. You might have guessed I love the Nidus Worm based on the fact that my introduction sound for all my videos is in fact a Nidus Worm. Yeah, that's actually Xlorin, who does all of my graphic work for the channel. He made that intro for me, but it just had kind of some generic background noise to it, some white noise mostly. And I was like, you know what? I love how that looks, but can we put a Nidus Worm sound at the end underneath it? And he was like, I guess so. So he found one and tossed it in, and it worked way better than he thought it would, and even I really thought it would. So that is the genius of combining two people's brains to make something great. Medevacs heading on out here to the front of his natural base is Jamoysal. We got SCVs here at the same time. There are burrowed Banelings. Does he know about these? Whoop! Baneling explodes, wounding a bunch of those Marines. But again, one Baneling shot is not enough to kill a Marine that has... actually, no, it doesn't have combat shield. So not enough to kill a Marine without any attack upgrades, which they do. They have +1. All right, they have +1. There's the scan exploding the Banelings. And the poor SCV that was next door. That was just mean. More Drop Lord action, trying to get in here to the natural base. There are missile turrets, though. And is it enough to chase the... yes, Drop Lords get chased away. They get rebuffed. There's a little angle you can attack right up this top side here, Drop Lords. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. Probably not. Probably not. 4th and 5th bases for Megatron are just about to pop right now. Banshee on the way. Nidus Worm erupting here inside the natural base of Jamoysal. 1,000,000 queens come out. 1,000,000 queens taken down the missile turrets. Here come a bunch of Marines. Where are the Drop Lords? Where are the Banelings? Banelings rolling out of that Nidus Worm and rolling into these Marines. Not doing very well, as it turns out. And the Queens are forced to retreat. The Marines take down the Nidus Worm. But there are some burrowed Banelings and a burrowed Queen here. Inside your natural... there's the explosion. Killed his own... no, the Queen didn't die. Queen didn't die, but a bunch of Marines did. 23 Marines have been killed. 53 to 31 Harvesters. 119 to 88 total supply. And our Terran player is still in this game. Hive on the way for that +3/+3 beautiful +3 upgrades so we can get to the Zerglings and the Banelings. A lot of Banelings are still in this Nidus network. Several pages, actually. Is there a maximum number of units you can put in there? I don't know. Queen pops out and says, I will kill you. Orbital Command. How does that sound? And the answer is not very well. Burrow again, Queen. There's a Banshee. Get out of there. Not getting out of there. But the Orbital Command is burning down. Jamoysal probably should repair it with an SCV or two at this point, and he's not. So let's see how long it takes him to repair this. We're about 11 minutes now. It's still on fire. There's a nice visual indication that your building is burning down. Does he not know he can repair? I mean, he's way too good. He's way too good at this game to not know that you can repair. Maybe his attention is elsewhere. Like maybe these burrowed Banelings are causing another big Baneling hit. Yeah, the 3rd base. That command center is burning down. The natural command center, is getting repaired. Thank goodness. Thank goodness Jamoisal saw what was up. Is he going to repair his third command center, which is very much closer to death than his third base was when he saved it. Down to double-digit hit points. It's not good. Jamoisal, no. No, the fires. The fires are here. Every one of these SCVs that comes close, I think it's going to repair it, but he's not doing it. Fare thee well, orbital or command center. We knew thee well. We knew. Oh, he saved it. What? Oh, I gave him a eulogy and everything. That command center almost died for no reason. Banelings waltzing on. There are so many Banshees in the sky. Banelings trying to do something for themselves, trying to waltz into this main base. This tank is having a field day. 14 kills. Again, tanks against this strategy seem really, really strong. Banelings burrowing at the natural and doing some, again, another orbital command on fire. Did he lose? He lost that one. Jamoisal not happy. Not happy about this. Saying that was unkind. Megatron tosses out the lull. Really has no other answer to it. More Banelings wandering in. Tank doing great work, though. 31 kills on that tank. Just positioned beautifully. Barracks under fire. Orbital command under fire. Again, the repair for Jamoisal is not fast in coming. Not fast in coming. Lost his third command center somewhere along the line. I guess when those Banelings were rolling through, they got destroyed. Close enough to actually take it down. Barracks explodes. SCV repairing the reactor, which I feel like your priority was the thing that was dying. Orbital command under fire here as well. 52 to 26 total. Harvesters. Trying to rebuild his command center. Jamoisal's not giving up, man. Not giving up, despite the fact there are soon to be +3/+3 Banelings. 31 of them at his front door. There are already 14. But 31 more are under production. Ton of queens out here. 11 queens on the field for Megatron. Have we seen Megatron before? That name seems very familiar. Whether it's a Mindrake Madness or what. Jamoisal did finally bother to repair his main orbital command. Now the trick here is the earlier you can repair it, the fewer resources it costs to repair it. So you want to get down that as fast as you can. 3 Banshees on the way. A lot of Banshees here. I'm liking this. If your opponent is going a hajillion Banelings, getting something the Banelings cannot attack in any possible way is a good answer to it. Some Banelings on this ramp, burrowed on this ramp, and that leads across the map in the direction of the Zerg base. But I just don't see anything the Banelings can kill. There's a Marine and a tank that Jamoisal has. He actually has 14 Banshees. So this actually might not go well for Megatron a lot. Okay, here's another Nidus. Here in this main base, closer to the natural side of things, but it's essentially one base, so we'll call it the main. There it is. There's the eruption. Nidus Worm erupting. Ton of queens coming out, trying to take down that command center before it flies over to that third base location. And Tank getting some shots off. Queens versus Banshees. This is so many Banshees, though. Marine assisting as well. Transfuses need to be really good here. They are going down, just not fast enough. What? Banshees tearing apart all of them queens. That's 13 queens that have died, and the number of Banshees that have died is 5. That's probably darn cost efficient. More burrowed Banes here at the third base, and a scan and the Banshees. Jamoisal knows exactly what to do against this. Marines catching these dudes from distance as well. But the fact that they're here means the command center can't land. That is a bit of an issue. Is there a scan available on this orbital command? There is. There is a scan available. No, don't scan up. Oh, he just wants to land up there instead. So he's going to go to the fourth base location. 96 lings in production for a Megatron. He's got 33 Banelings. He's about to add a whole lot more, although he only has 700 gas. My math is not good, but does he have enough to make that thing happen? I don't actually know. Oh, this burrowed Baneling challenge, man. It leads to some games that struggle a little bit. So a lot of Banelings just popped in, bringing the total to 64 for a Megatron. They're all set up here just outside this third base location for Jamoisal, which again, he's pretty much just given up on. He has no intent whatsoever on using that. His main orbital command is here. Pro tip for Jamoisal, you can lift this orbital command and move it somewhere else once there's nothing left for it to do. I guess this refinery does have 200 gas remaining. I suppose that's the case. +3 Banelings doing 47 damage versus light. Still not enough to one-shot a Marine, but the splash damage function, especially considering the Banelings travel in groups, is more than enough to make that worth it. Plus 2 missile attack on the way from Megatron, spreading more creep, not really connecting his bases. Well, I guess there's one base that's not connected. Oh, here comes the Baneling roll into this 4th base. And there we go. 43 dead SCVs. 28 to 66 now. 4th base is history. It is history. Time for the Banshees to roll out. They are tired of playing defense. And with like a Raven, you could do a lot better here. I guess there's some stuff you can kill. Another Baneling hit on the ramp. The ones on the ramp finally got what they wanted, killing a bunch of Marines. Not necessarily that many, right? Not that many, but still. Do you have... Jamoisal, Ravens can detect. They can permanently detect. They are detectors, as it shows right there. You don't have to wait for scans in order to do this, although you do have enough for 1 scan available. Here comes the Queen Army from Megatron. +3 on these dudes, +3 armored. Look at the transfuses on that tanking Queen. That was amazing. Not enough, mind you, not enough necessarily, but the Queens are dying, but I think they're taking Banshees down a little more quickly this time. And in fact, they are. The Banshee group is toast. There are 3 Banshees in the field, or in the sky, but one more just died. Queens taking down Marines, and that's lol out of Jamoisal. Good game, says Jamoisal. What a good sport. Jamoisal, you're my hero today. New to the game, getting this weird strategy used against you. Queens and Banelings, who is prepared for that? Losing a ton of stuff, but keeping his head held high enough for the good game at the end. And everybody should strive to be like him. So yeah, 2 command centers got killed, a barracks, 3 missile turrets, a supply depot, 87 Marines, 43 SCVs were murdered in the name of Banelings. All right, final game coming up here for the One Trick Wednesday of Baneling special from Falcon Paladin. We'll be back with it in just a minute. Welcome back to the One Trick Wednesday of Falcon Paladin. Burrowed Banelings are on the menu. And this is going to be a game between Daru and Psychotic on Belshire Vestige, the latter edition. In the top left side of the map, we have the red Zerg player. It is Daru. And in the bottom right side of the map, we have the blue Zerg player. It is Psychotic with K's instead of C's. That's how you know this guy is edgy. With a little spinning Nova icon here. Looking good there, Nova. As always, happy One Trick Wednesdays, says Psychotic. Ah, what? Says Daru. Yay, Psychotic giving me a shout out. Giving me a shout out in this game. And the response from Daru is, as you would expect, he hasn't heard of me. As I think most StarCraft fans haven't. There are a lot of StarCraft fans, you guys. Oh, look. But Psychotic trying to make one fewer StarCraft fan who doesn't know about Falcon Paladin. Wonderful. Thank you, Psychotic. You're Falcon Paladin, aren't you? Says Daru. Accusing Psychotic, oh no, of self-promotion. I've never done that in a game. I'm pretty sure I haven't ever done that in a game. I mean, people have recognized me, but I haven't actually been like, hey, subscribe to my channel. We're going to fight to the death here in a couple of minutes. I admit that I have gone, he wishes that he was me, into the Husky StarCraft and Day 9 channels on StarCraft and been like, what up? You guys miss StarCraft? Here is a place to go to get StarCraft. And I have actually gotten some subs from that little method of self-promotion. Double extractor on the way from Psychotic. Double extractor opening, and also with an expansion hatch and a spawning pool just now coming up. So early gas is going to be the way things go. For Psychotic, we have an Overlord moving down from the top left to the bottom right. Another Overlord moving from the bottom right to the top left. Nobody is drone scouting because it's ZVZ, and pool first things don't actually happen. They do happen, you guys. They do totally happen. I'd really suggest drone scouting. Double extractor from Daru as well. Is he? What is going on? Why would you go double extractor, Daru? This is not making any sense whatsoever. If I didn't know better, I'd think they were both going for burrowed banelings, but I really think it's only Psychotic here based on that early discussion. Alright, so who's going to scout first? Daru moving in here a little bit earlier than Psychotic. No, about the same. It's about the same. What's our early APM for these dudes? About 190 for Daru, around 150 currently for Psychotic. Overall, only 50 throughout the game. It's kind of funny how that works, right? The average is like flipped for these players. Anyway, a little bit higher APM for the Red Terran player, but that's just fine. Overlord comes right in. There's a queen out for Daru, but there is no such queen for Psychotic. He's going right for Baneling Nest. Now he's making a queen, but the Overlord scouts out everything that is happening. And can the queen take down this Overlord? Might be able to get it, actually. Couple more shots. Overlord, run. Nope. Toast. Toast. Toasty, roasty, exploded. Overlord, not toast. Baneling's on the way, too. Interesting. Not Jimmy, says Psychotic. That was my favorite Overlord, Jimmy. Why would you murder him? Now he's supply blocked, too. Ugh. Ooh, see, now that's another trick Falcon Paladin can give you. If you are losing an Overlord, or a supply depot, or a pylon, usually it's an Overlord, though, because, let's face it, they are a little bit easier to kill than the other ones in the early game. Make a new Overlord immediately. Don't wait until it dies and then try to replace him. It slows you down a lot. R.I.P. Jimmy, says Daru, 2017 to 2017. Psychotic with the sad face. See the tears coming down and the eyes and the mouth. Yep, not the greatest, like not the most obvious of all emoticons, but still pretty good nonetheless. All right, so Baneling's up. Do we have Burrow? Yes, Burrow's being researched. We have a lair at the same time. We have some Banelings coming in from the Psychotic. Done. So Daru also going for Banelings, but possibly using them in a bit of a different way than his opponent is. Oh, going Hydra. Ooh, Hydra. Okay, double-edged sword there. Hydras, with their range, very good at picking off Banelings from distance. But if they get hit by the Banelings, they die so fast because they only have 85 hit points. And they are squishy. They are so squishy. I think there's a proposed upgrade from Blizzard, might already be out, where Hydra HP is increased to 90, which I think means they don't get 2-shot by tanks anymore. It's a 3-shot. I don't know. I need to look at the numbers on that. I'll be back on those with you. Double Evolution Chamber popping in for Daru as well. Nobody has been even remotely aggressive unless you count Overlord scouting, which I do not. I don't count that as aggressive. Third hatch on the way from Daru. What are these ZVZs? I never play ZVZs where nobody bothers attacking for the first 5 minutes. I mean, this is essentially the equivalent of a no rush 20 back in the Brood War days where you'd sign up for a custom map where it's like no rush for 20 minutes. Because people hate the early game back in Brood War. They really did. And they do no rush type stuff. And, I mean, some people would just be like, you know what? No, I'm going to rush you right into the ground. And then people would get mad and people would flame, and that's what the internet was all about. Even back in the Brood War days when the internet was younger. Definitely younger. Double Evolution Chamber for Psychotic as well, and he's got his Burrowed Banes here, covering that ramp into the natural. He is really afraid to expand, but again, Daru seems similarly afraid of attacks as he's playing very defensively as well. He's now getting speed at the 5.5 minute mark as Daru chucking down a Spire as well, which is really bad news for Psychotic as Banelings are super terrible against flying units. Third hatch now coming in for Psychotic, way behind his opponents. Also, Daru's up 34 to 28 total Harvesters, which is bad. This feels like in mirror matchups, having a lower worker count hurts even more than in regular non-mirror type matchups. I don't know why that is. Muscular Augments just now finishing for Daru, increasing the range of them Hydras. Look at the range on these guys. A range of 6? Range of 6 is such a big range. We've got Baneling's Burrow, though. If Hydras try to waltz into this natural like there's not a care in the world, they will die. They will die. The question is, can we be cost efficient with these Banelings, right? So 3 Hydras walk in here. All of these Banelings explode. All 17 of them explode. That just means you lose. Like, you just lost so much stuff in exchange for 3 Hydralisks. Not good. Not good at all. So third base up for the Daru. Third base on the way for Psychotic. Again, the Spire that's going to cause Psychotic so much trouble is morphing in at the same time. Evolution Chamber getting +1 melee attack for Psychotic. Other Evolution Chamber doing nothing, even though he has enough resources to actually get a +1 armor. I'm not sure how much that helps for Burrowed Banelings. It seems like they die pretty quick, no matter what finds them. No matter what can see them from distance, they die, whether they have 0 armor or 3 armor upgrades. So more Banelings coming in from the Psychotic. He's getting Pneumatized Carapace. Again, dropping Banelings into the map and then burrowing them in a mineral line is pretty much the way to go here. Although, there are no walls to deal with if you are a Zerg player against another Zerg player. So maybe not. Maybe that's not what we're going to see. Banelings burrowing on another further ramp up. He's like spreading creep, but he's spreading Burrowed Banelings as well. Kind of like this. Basically what we've seen. What did we see in that? Yeah. In the the Monsanto one. Monkillo? Was that what that was? I can't even remember, and it was like an hour ago at this point. Lurker Den on the way for Daru. Again, nobody has bothered attacking for 7 hours. 7 minutes and 43 seconds. It feels like hours. Again, I don't know what these ZVZs are. I've never played a ZVZ where I was left alone for this long. I just haven't been. That's not how this matchup is played. Speed Overlords coming up this left side. 3 of them. So I think this is more for just scouting. More than just for scouting. Do they have the Drop Lord upgrade? They don't have the Drop Lord upgrade. We don't need them yet. I guess we could upgrade them as soon as you get here. So it's a Ling Hydra, Corruptor Queen. I assume Lurkers eventually upgrade. Also getting Glial Reconstitution for roaches. For the 0 roaches that he has, does Daru. There's the Drop Lord upgrade for Psychotic. Okay, excellent. Excellent. Banelings waddling up here. They don't even have Baneling speed, and it's not on the way. Nope. Not on the way. All right, Banelings, here we go. Hop inside this Drop Lord, if you don't mind. There we go. Blorb, blorb, blorb. And time to move out. Here we go. Drop Lords. He's gonna he's gonna ferry them in. Right? He's gonna ferry them in 12 at a time. There is another group of 9 waiting for that ferry treatment. Can Daru see this is the question. No, Daru can't see that. That is so well placed. For Psychotic. Could he see the Overlords though? That's what I want to know. Get in. Get in the Overlords. What is your attention? There we go. This is the most important thing that you're doing. All right, so let's check that vision again. Can he see the Overlords as they sneak in here? Oh, that is so sneaky. Can't see them. All right, time to go. Time to waddle yourselves into a mineral line and murder some drones. I assume that's what we're doing, Psychotic. Or maybe burrowing on his opponent's ramp? Oh, that'd be mean. That'd be really mean. All right, here he goes, right inside the mineral line. Drones running for not actually running for their lives, burrowing. And I'm pretty sure Daru saw that. Overseer morphing in. Banelings, you are on a limited time scale here. You're going to have to, actually sacrifice, possibly trying to sacrifice some Hydras. The Banelings explode. Either way, the main base is not harvesting anything right now. The Overseer's done, and there we go. Hydra's picking him off. Piece me by piece. Banelings exploding on their own volition. Doing some damage to the Hive here, down to 800 hit points out of 2,500. So it's hurt, but it's not dead. But it is not dead. I think that might have been what Psychotic was going for. Meanwhile, it is 56 to 56 harvesters. Do we have more action coming? Actually, Daru making a 4th base down here, just south of his main. Perhaps understanding what happened. He wants to make sure he has some presence down here, so more Drop Lord action isn't really a possibility. More Banelings coming in. Baneling speed is on the way. Almost complete there as well. +2 melee attack, +1 armor for his ground units being researched at the same time. And that wasn't getting burrowed. Yeah, he's getting tunneling claws. Why? How many roaches do you have again? Daru has 0 roaches, but he's getting burrow roach upgrades right now, which, I don't know. It's good in ZVZ. I'm not going to say it's terrible. Banelings all burrowing themselves here at the Zelnaga Watchtower. At least a handful of them are. How many is this? How many is that? That is 11? That is 11. I think I said 11 previously and I meant 9. I don't know. This cast is long, you guys. This cast is longer than I expected. Did not expect these Burrow Baneling games to be 20 minutes. But perhaps I should have seen it coming. Corruptor is chasing these Drop Lords away. Psychotic has kind of left them alone over here for the time being. They did their jobs, and now I suppose it is time for them to go back to the Earth from whence they came. +2 missile attack on the way from Daru. These Corruptors are very scary. Not that they're going to be used for much. Ultralisk Cavern on the way from Daru as well. Okay, that's pretty good news. This single Corruptor trying to kill this Overlord. And again, single Corruptor DPS is not great. But 3 is better, as there goes the Drop Lord. So Burrowed Banelings at both of the Zelnaga Watchtowers on this map, right in the middle. We have an Overlord for Daru kind of scouting things out. It is 53 to 59 Harvesters. There are 42 Banelings in production for Psychotic. Infestation Pit on the way as well for a Psychotic. Ultralisk Cavern and a Greater Spire. Why not? Right? If your opponent isn't really attacking you other than like a weird Burrowed Baneling attempt attack, get all the tech. Get all the bases, get 70 to 80 Harvesters, and then just attack, remax. You can do these things. These are things that you can do. Plus, is that +2 Carapace? +2 Carapace done for these Banelings. Here we go, rolling in. Banelings rolling into the 3rd base of Psychotic. A lot of Banelings exploding, but not being super cost efficient there. Burrows. Banelings have burrowed on the ramp leading out of this 3rd base. Psychotic, I think, is prepared to lose this 3rd. But he's going to kill the Lings when they come up and try to kill his natural. That seems to be our plan right now. I don't see anybody else really really coming in to save this. And again, the restrictions of the One Trick Wednesday mean he cannot. They mean he cannot. All right, so third base toast. I guess some lings did pop up for Psychotic. I don't know. I mean, there we go. And then burrows him. Excellent job, Psychotic, keeping to the spirit of the thing. How many are left here? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13? 13 Zerglings are remaining here. They're trying to kill Larva, and they just do such a bad job at killing Larva. Larva have 10 armor, right? I mean, you'll get them eventually, right? You'll get them eventually. That's not in question here. But, so that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How does he have more now? Did I just miss one? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. There's the burrow. It's little holes left. Oh, what's that called? There's a phobia of people where there are holes in things. It freaks them right the heck out. I don't know what it's called. It kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies as well, but not as bad as a lot of people. Anyway, when burrowed banelings come up out of the ground, they leave a bunch of holes, and I think that is enough to trigger some people. So, trigger warning. If you have that weird fear of holes, which again, I think I have as well. I'm not condemning you. Just a warning here. All right, so these lings aren't doing anything. The lings are hanging out. I thought for sure they'd try to come into the natural base, but they are just chilling. They are chilling. Meanwhile, there are Broodlords on the field. There are Lurkers on the field. Daru is up 169 to 105. Total supply. And again, banelings are set up in strategic locations. But the red army hasn't really moved out except to kill this third in this entire game thus far. So got the Lurkers. Lurkers so good against lings and banelings from distance. And Lurkers aren't... I guess they could walk on top of burrow banelings and then burrow themselves. That seems like that's something that could happen. +3/+3 done for Daru's melee units. That's just yikes. 39 damage versus armored for Lurkers, 26 damage versus on everything else. Isn't it kind of weird how they flipped that from Brood War? Lurkers used to do a lot very well against light units and not so good against armored. And it's kind of flipped. I mean, they're still fine against Marines just because splash damage of any kind is good against Marines. But just better against Marauders and tanks and things like that and Cyclones. Like, who knew? Who saw that coming? I did not see that coming when they brought back the Lurker, that's for sure. I do remember some early games in Legacy of the Void Beta when the Lurker was introduced and like QXC was playing against Stefano or somebody, I want to say. And the Lurkers are doing very well against a Marine Marauder Medevac style from the Terran player. And QXC was complaining a lot, saying like, what do I do against this? And I guess Terran players figured it out, because we really don't see that many Lurkers in ZVT anymore. It is definitely not the norm. Why did that Baneling explode? Is that an accidental explosion, or was there something actually there that the Baneling killed? I don't know. Again, Daru. Oh, did those lings come up through here? The lings must have come up through here and died. All these Banelings are gone. I don't think that was... I hope all those Banelings weren't used on, like, 13 lings. That seems like a poor use of Banelings. What's our Baneling count at? 135 Banelings. Whee! That's what I like to see, ladies and gentlemen. One ling gets exploded on a Baneling. This is exactly what you got to do. Daru is just sending in small groups of lings to pick off the Banelings piece by piece by piece. There's the burrow. There is the burrow. Another 1 for 1 there. It's the trade. It's just the cost efficiency trade of ZVZ. One ling for one Baneling. You're going to win if you do that enough. Sending in small group, even this number, that number of lings, like 6 Banelings to get all, or lings to get all these Banelings to explode, is totally enough. It would totally be enough. Now the problem is there are Broodlords out, which I don't know how you handle Banelings with Broodlords. Lings rolling on up, burrowing. Psychotics are burrowing as he knows he can't really engage these lings that well, as evidenced by the fact that they get murdered. Coming up to the 4th base of Psychotic, which he took previously. I didn't really mention it, but it's gone now, so maybe it's a good thing. And here come our Banelings trying to sneak into this 3rd base of Daru, but there are 3 Lurkers. Oh, snap. Oh, no. Oh, that was a lot of Banelings for 3 Lurkers. That was a lot of Banelings for 3 workers. Banelings burrowing in the mineral line, exploding, killing some drones, but again, not of the most cost-efficient variety there. All right, so Broodlords in the sky. I just don't think Psychotic has anything to deal with it. He's got 4 queens. Does he have any Spore Crawlers at all? Not that that matters. Spore Crawlers don't really help against Broodlords. And here we go. Corruptor, Broodlord, Ling, heading south. Daru, at 17 minutes and 30 seconds into this match, has decided it is time to head south. very slowly, because again, Broodlords are super slow. Lings moving into the main base of Psychotic. There is nothing here. There is nothing here to save it. Queens burrow to try to stay alive. Well, one queen does, but everything else dying. Baneling nest dying. Spawning pool dying. This might be it for Psychotic. I just don't know how he does anything against these Broodlords when he has exactly 3 queens. Corruptors wandering in. Hey, some banelings did explode on some lings that tried to run in to lend assistance, but there are enough lings here to take down the main without their help. Daru says, why max banelings? What were you trying to do, my friend? Because it's a challenge, says Psychotic, and Psychotic knows that life is not worth living if you're not being challenged. That's what I've always said. And that's it. Banelings exploding from the ground on top of some lings. It's just not the hits we've been expecting out of the Burrowed Baneling challenge. Some more Broodlords coming in, recognizing there's really nothing to challenge these dudes. Might as well have more of them. Might as well have more of them. So third base is being replanted by Psychotic. I don't know how long it's going to live. Didn't expect it to work, but it was fun, says Psychotic. It's true. Baneling hits are fun. They're just, it's one of the more visually satisfying things to see here. And StarCraft 2 is a big Baneling hit, in my personal opinion. Again, I'm a Zerg player, so probably my opinion is skewed, but is that it? Are these extractors the only things left for Psychotic? I think they are, except for creep tumors, which don't count as structures as far as the end game qualifications are concerned. Again, some Banelings trying to roll in, Lurkers murdering all of that, and that's it. Psychotic is defeated, and Daru is victorious. Woo! That was a good one. That was a fun little ZVZ there. Again, 19 minutes. Thanks for sticking with me. I know these games weren't the best. I know my challenge was probably chosen poorly, but here's the challenge for the next One Trick Wednesday in 2 weeks. Again, send me your replays for this challenge to falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of One Trick Wednesday. I'll put that email address in the description here. All right, the challenge is only Archons. That's it. Archon only for Protoss. You can make cannons. You can make warp prisms, and that's it. End of discussion. Cannons, warp prisms, Archons. Any questions, let me know in the comments. But that's what it is. I should get some more submissions for this. I should see some people more interested in doing this. Again, Archons can attack air and ground, which is useful. Which is useful for this kind of a thing. Also, for the one after that, I'm thinking nothing like one unit only. I kind of want to do some of the stuff that Lag TV used to do, like expand 8 times before attacking, or things similar like that. Different constrictions. Or different constraints rather than just saying 1 unit period. So Archons, cannons, warp prisms, that's it. That is going to be it. And that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another One Trick Wednesday, second of all time. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /FalconPaladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.